What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Strangest Minds. I'm Fernando, and today we're going to be reading from Reddit, and we're joined in this community called Paranormal Encounter once again. And 16 hours ago, this was posted: Goblin figure staring at me as I was walking in Akron. Let's read the story right quick. The goblin figure is very deformed, bald, and what looks like red blotches on its head. It's also noticeably small and emaciated. It stared at me in a paranoid expression as I was walking across the house. It disappeared after I looked away, and I heard noises that sounded to me to be mom being repeated. Could this be a ghost of a child? I've never believed in myth, spirits, witchcraft, ghosts, or magic until now. I'm terrified. If I did something to cause such paranormal scare, please explain this to me. I don't understand why you would feel like you did something to cause this. It could just be you came across a house with a paranormal activity, a house with paranormal activity, and you caught something on camera. Although, I mean, I don't see how you could see red blotches due to this picture alone. It doesn't. The quality of the picture isn't the best either. Let's just say, but due to the top being this dirty, the bottom could be dirty as well. So this could actually be some matrixing happening. Some dirt on a window, and it just makes it look like there's a face. But let's just say it is a face. I don't see a little person or a child here. I see it's a man, big nose, mouth, big lips, beard. I see a neck, long hair, like almost in a bun. But I do see a man. Men have long hair. I don't see a little kid. This is actually due to this just taking into consideration the size of this window. The boards on the side of the house. This is a pretty big head, not like a small child's head. If we go with the story, this you probably caught something, but we need more information to determine that. Um, yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I would not say that you caused this. So, nah, that's just a normal resident of Akron. Bro found Cyrax. I don't get it. Yes, that is Cyrax. Cyrax spotting. What? As someone who has been to Akron several times, can confirm. Okay, so there's already a good, quite a set of people that've been there and could confirm. I see a smiley face. I don't know what that is about. That's Mulder from X Files. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, that was a funny one. But we all know where this is heading off to. But yeah, all right, cool, cool, cool. Let's head on to the next in the paranormal encounters. That's a okay. Is it just me? Let's go with this. Is it just me? Or is 90% of all Reddit friends in this sub paranormal enlightened? No disrespect for your findings, but I see so many posts that can be perfectly explained instead of instantly going to the paranormal world. We see faces and objects. That's how our brain is programmed, and very rarely it's actually a paranormal encounter. I agree. I agree. We hear stuff in the night that freaks us out only because we can't directly recognize it. It most likely is not a ghost haunting you. I do read really interesting experiences, but the majority is just a lack of common sense, overreacting, and worrying way too much over everyday occurrences. Again, no hate, just my opinion lately. Honestly, you know what? This guy ain't wrong. This guy ain't wrong. This person is not wrong. I don't know if it's a guy or a gal. But yeah, a lot of these experiences, it's, thank you for sharing. We don't want to encourage anyone to share their experiences just because we cannot fully determine if something's paranormal or not, that is on our end. You are experiencing something different. So a lot of these people are looking for some sort of, clarity, help, advice, so on and so forth. Hopefully, a couple of these people that I do read, I am creating a Reddit playlist, just a series of reading from Reddit. And if I read your story and, I most likely gave some advice, hope you guys take it because, this is me doing my part and seeing if I could help the person writing. But I do not disagree with this post at all. A lot of this stuff is just either over dramatization or, people that are just, you know, uh, can't really fully explain certain things using common sense. So, yeah, yeah. I wanted to be more polite in my post, but you nailed it. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yes, I see some batshit crazy stuff get posted that can be explained by the person posting maybe having mental health issues, and all these people reply, seemingly telling them, yes, you do have a dark attachment or succubus or vampire, etc. Jesus. I feel like it's now a bunch of stories and everyone feeds their delusion. Yeah, yeah, pretty on point also. So this again, hopefully some of you people that write stories and actually do come across my YouTube, because all of this stuff, I am a paranormal investigator. I am not out here trying to pull the wool over your eyes. I do enjoy doing this and recording and doing, just sharing with you guys everything I do. But I do it with the best intentions. But I just saw this. I saw a ghost at Gettysburg as a kid, except it wasn't anyone that died there. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So Gettysburg, you guys, it is one of the bloodiest wars that ever happened. Civil War, I believe, and it's in Pennsylvania. I want to say it's Pennsylvania. So let's go. This will sound nuts, but whatever. As a little kid, age 6 maybe, I swore up and down that I saw and talked to a soldier by a rock wall near a climbing tower my family was at in Gettysburg. It wasn't even a soldier that died or fought at Gettysburg. To explain, the rest of my family was climbing up Longstreet Tower in Gettysburg, PA, Pennsylvania. However, I stayed on the ground messing around on the rocks wall nearby as I was bored and hot, and we'd been traipsing around the battlefield all day. There are just some places that you can't really take kids to. I recall going to St. Augustine here in Florida, and we did like a little family trip, which is not an issue at all. I love spending family time, but at the same time, I was like, "Ooh, I want to do this, I want to do that," because it's St. Augustine, a very well-known haunted location, and it was just family time. It wasn't nothing else. It was just family time. But due to where we was, the kids was not feeling it at all. So maybe planning properly next time, not taking kids to certain situations just because you find it interesting is not well, is definitely means your kids is not going to find it interesting at all. Let's see. Enter this random hazy guy. He looked real ish, but with a gray haze or tint to him. The left side of his shoulder, my right, was somewhat white and see through, as in I could see the fields behind him. He told me his name was John Rich, and he said that he was a soldier in World War One. Golly. I almost said something else, but I kind of turned it around to golly. I nodded and say hi. He just asked me my name, which I told him, Anastasia. Oh, beautiful name. Then he told me to be careful on the rocks, with a kind, small smile on his face as though it was barely there. Then he was gone. Literally. I had turned my back to keep climbing along the rock wall, and then I turned back around to face towards John, and he was gone. And it was just open field, so nobody could hide. I got you. I got the scenario. The only physical sensation in that moment, the whole experience was cold. A cold, heavy presence, not bad, just heavy. It was all a quick interaction. Was I freaked out? Not really. A bit nervous, but at the age of 6, 7, to me, it made sense because anything could be real in a kid's mind. That is true. So I wasn't scared at all. I climbed the wall a little more and then I ran to the bottom of the tower and waited for my family to climb down immediately. I told my parents and three younger siblings what happened. They said it's a combination. I was nuts. That's nice, dear. Ah, so they kind of brushed it off. You see, sometimes, man, as a parent, we cannot just brush things off. For a child, keeping a good trust between parents and their kids, we need to just listen, even though it could be a complete imagination aspect of their story. But, we need to keep an open mind to not discourage our kids not to tell us anything because that's the last thing you want, right? Um, so importantly, at least for me, we went to tour the Gettysburg National Cemetery a day or two later, and we were going really slow and taking our time and looking at all the graves. I was so excited and literally yelling to my parents when I found the ghost grave to get back here and come see because I had found John Rage's grave. Jeez, dude. Man, I got the goosebumps with that one. That's amazing. As a kid, you have an experience. This person tells you his name and he basically looks ghostish. She's explaining. And let me tell you something. When you have a profound experience, it doesn't matter how old you get. You will remember every single detail, even your emotion and how you felt. Because my very first paranormal experience, it happened when I was 11, 12 years old. And I'm 40, I'm going to turn 43 in a couple of months. And I remember it as though it was yesterday. I was traumatized with my experience. Just in case if you guys want to know my very first experience was, I could create a video and try and do something cool just to create it for you guys. But I have shared that story on the Shadow Files podcast. Make sure you guys tune in, give some love, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Um, so yeah, she found John Reich's. Is it Reich's or Rich grave? Kid me felt so validated at the moment, for sure. What? Years later, about a decade, I even found him on Find the Grave. John Rake, World War One soldier, buried at Gettysburg National Cemetery. Jesus Christ. My parents still say I'm nuts. I mentioned it to them a couple of weeks ago and they didn't even remember any of it. But I know what I saw, and seeing his grave in the cemetery a couple of days later cemented the memory in my mind for years. P.S. In the pic, I'm the little kid, long hair, far right. Note, a couple of days earlier, my brother fell down little round top and cracked his head open on a rock. I was the first person to him, and he was bleeding everywhere. Thankfully, for whatever reason, there were about 200 plus Boy Scouts and their leader there that day, and they bandaged him up enough so we could go to the Gettysburg Hospital. So maybe that's why the ghost was so concerned about the rocks. I don't know. LOL, or there you go. Thank you for sharing this amazing story. This is incredible. I thought the picture was more of, seeing something, but it's just showing us who the person writing was, Anastasia. Amazing story, you guys. Amazing story. Let's see. Um, Anastasia again. Also, for the few commenters dissing on this, this is literally the most dull and boring ghost story probably ever posted in the internet. There was no imagination or storytelling on my part, which is evident in that it was a really bland interaction with no pizzazz or stars. If I was going to fake a ghost story, I'd make it damn interesting and in Gettysburg. I'd have made it involve either Union or Confederate soldiers, but I didn't. Instead, it was a very bland interaction with a dead World War One soldier I didn't even think it was worth posting because of how dull it was, because everyone else has snazzy stuff or claims. Frankly, I'm regretting posting it at all, as some people are taking it too far and saying I was a kid who didn't know anything. If you're such a non believer, why don't you just observe the posts people make instead of interacting? You don't have to immediately go and diss on every person's story. What, you think you're so persuasive that you'll change their beliefs? Not happening. Hell yeah, Anastasia. Hell yeah. Regret nothing. Yes. I'm telling you guys, one of the things that I come across mostly here on Reddit is ignorant assholes with Twitter fingers trying to pull down somebody's story. You know what? They could all kick rocks, and that's just the nicest way I could put it. But never be sorry for posting a incredibly interesting story like this. The history of our country, and then you being, having an interaction with a World War I soldier. It doesn't even matter if they were from what side. You interacted with a soldier from World War I, letting you know, hey, be careful on the rocks. Dude, dude, what kind of asshole is gonna put, like, talk crap about this? Yeah, I'm trying so hard. I'm trying so hard not to curse though. I swear, yeah. I swear. Regret nothing. I am so happy you posted. Hell yeah. There are way more believers than those who are afraid and scared to admit there are things in this world we cannot understand. Thank you for the kind words. Yes, yes. I'm a sensitive person, unfortunately. You know what? That's okay. That's okay. I I have been, I spoke with somebody, and I really think that they have a lot of good potential to put stuff out there, but not everybody is willing to face social media because of all the negativity it brings. What I say is, again, I'm trying to curse. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to curse, because if I let my mind just run wild, I would, probably get banned. But F everybody else, man. F everybody else. You don't need validation from strangers. If you want to share a story, share your story and not worry about pleasing everybody. You know, with the little interaction I have with my viewers, there I still get assholes. And what I do, I kind of kill them with kindness. Oh, this, whatever, I'm not going to go back and forth and, just do this freaking Twitter beef. No, F those people that wants to criticize what you're doing. They're not doing nothing for you anyway. F them. Don't listen to them. If anything, put out whatever you're going to put out and don't even bother socializing. Just put out what you're going to put out. Later on, if you get, whatever happens, you become freaking make money out of your stories. You could do it without ever coming across an asshole. All I'm saying, if you don't want to read comments, I read my comments just because, I appreciate anything that comes towards, because, with comments is interactions, and apparently that helps boost algorithm. So, you know, hey, all of this, you are special in the best sense of the word. Yes. Well, now you're starting to be a little flirtatious, aren't you? Sensitive is beautiful. Yes, yes. For sure, you guys. That makes our that what makes yours so believable and realistic. I agree. The way she expressed herself in the story, it is normal. I'm not going to believe freaking Hollywood paranormal crap. No, it's a movie, it's a show. I'm not going to believe all the schmaz they put into a article, because then it makes it sound too much like they put too much time trying to create something that's not real. That's how I'm taking it. So yes, you guys, there are good in the world, because not everybody is an asshole. Just keep that in mind. um let's do one more before we call it up. And Anastasia, thank you for sharing your story. For sure, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. Okay, girl's birthday trip ghost debunk. I don't know what this is about, but let's see what is this? Let's read. Let's read the story first before we continue. I want to know people's thoughts on this picture. This picture was not sent from the original source, but has been shared down. I received this picture through iMessage, which was a live photo. From what I've been told, some family and friends got together to celebrate someone's birthday with a girl's trip to the lake. It was explained to me that it was only girls and no kids were in attendance. To commemorate the trip, they all took a photo together by the fire. On the right side of the photo, next to the blonde hair women in camo leggings, there is a child peeking between. No one knew who this child was or who he belonged to. I attached a screen recording of the live photo and the newer sticker option for iPhones to show it a bit more. I don't know if this is real or not, but I feel like it might be harder to manipulate a live photo, but I'm no expert. So what do I do now? So what do I know? LOL. But I'm no expert, so what do I know? I mean, don't put yourself down like that, bro. The lighting doesn't bounce off the child's face like the others, and he looks very pale. I would love to know y'all's thoughts on this. All right, let's check it out. Let's make it bigger. Let's go. Oh, I see it. That's very smart, though. That is very interesting. You just gave me an idea for things that we could use. That is very interesting. I've never thought about that. You see, that is what I'm talking about. A lot of times, just going and looking through things. I mean, yes, let's just say this video, not your video per se, not this. What you just did. What you just did is genius, because you just gave me an idea. Do you guys realize that there are certain you look at that. Look at that. There are certain things that we could use on the iPhone when we're taking pictures. And mind you, I use my phone when I go out on the field. I do a lot of different things and I use my phone because I'm not gonna buy a 300-400 camera uh just for what I'm doing. No, I'm gonna use my phone. I got an iPhone and they have good quality stuff, and then there's software within the camera. You could do things like this. So it is wild how the iPhone is picking up all of everything and not the little boy's picture. Now, mind you, he did say that it was basically it was shared down. So a lot of people had their hands on it. Could this be photoshopped? Yes, which is possibly the reason why the iPhone is not picking it up. That is wild. Look at that. You could almost say that if you have a question on whether or not a picture of a paranormal activity is real, you could use this app, which is something amazing because we could use this technology, this idea, to create something similar to be able to use for our investigation. That is awesome. I find it most interesting that his little face isn't getting any light from the fire like everyone else picture. It has that grayness. I would typically claim is pareidolia, but it appears to be moving, so I'm honestly not sure. Creepy as fuck to be sure. Holy crap, I have an iPhone and a and a love photo means it takes a few seconds of video to, and a live photo means it takes a few seconds of video on either end of the photo. I don't know how this could be faked, and it's creepy as F. You guys, I think this is not the original. It's not from the original source. It was served down. So was the picture taken? Was the picture taken with an iPhone? Because he could have just saved the picture. He could have just saved the picture. Could have it possibly, because I see some movement, right? From the women. I mean, there's definitely movement with the kid. The kid looks like it looks down, but there is like movement with the women, almost swaying, like waiting for the picture to be taken. This is interesting, you guys. I don't know if this was caught with the iPhone and the live feature was clicked on and it was catching that the face of the little boy. That's wild. The thought is wild. The only thing that is that is keeping me from going crazy on this picture is the fact that it was a hand me down. It was put too many people's hands was in the cookie jar. Um, but nonetheless, it is it is amazing. Yes, we clearly see the little boy. The iPhone app is not picking him up, which to me it could be that it's been photoshopped in there. Um, but regardless, guys, regardless, that is amazing. So we're gonna call it right here. If you guys are enjoying yourselves, please do what you do when you like a channel. Hit that like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you guys on the next. Peace.